Hello, my dear students. Your Rhythm Nexus welcomes you to its first ever session. Today, we will be seeing our first lecture for Class 8 CBSE for the subject Mathematics. Today, we will be seeing lesson number 1, that is rational numbers, and today I will introduce you to the rational numbers as well. We will see its properties. But what exactly we are going to learn today? So, today we will be seeing Introduction to the Number System, as well the properties of rational number. Then, as I said, first let's see what are the number system, what are the various forms of number which we came across up to now, but we never tried to classify them. Let's start to classify. Here I have a precise classification. As like you're able to see, the innermost circle is the natural numbers. Then above it we have whole numbers, then integers, and lastly the outer circle is our part of interest. That is our chapter's title, rational numbers. So as I said, all the numbers firstly begin with the natural numbers. So the first ever type of numbers which we learned is natural numbers. Like right in the kgs, we started to learn the counting numbers. We used to count the numbers on our fingers, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So the counting numbers are termed as the natural numbers, 1, 2, 3, and so on. Infinity is the limit. Then next is what? Next we have whole numbers. Now, what are these whole numbers? Apart from the natural numbers, there is certain thing like many a times if there is a test of 10 marks, not all the children get the marks in between 1 to 10. There are certain children who get no marks into the test, and that is termed as zero. Correct? So that zero, okay, along with the natural numbers, when you add a zero before it, that is nothing but that will give you a series of whole numbers. And again, for whole numbers, the limit is infinity. Now see children, natural number starts from 1 and they end up to infinity. Whole numbers, along with the natural number, they carry just one extra number, that is the 0. Okay, then these are the whole numbers. Then what about the integers? Now let's talk about the integers. But before we go to integers, let's see one more thing. See children, when you observe the figure, you can easily comment all the natural numbers are also whole numbers. Okay, then now let's see this integers. Now what are integers? Just now we saw when we got the counting numbers as natural number, then if we are adding a 0 into natural numbers, those are whole numbers. But below this 0 also there is a word. Before the 0 also there exist certain numbers which are the negative numbers. Many a times we talk about the temperature which is below 0 degree Celsius. When you are going below the ground level, okay, like underground you are going, you are digging a bore well and all, you are going below the ground surface, so that length is measured negative, or that distance is calculated negative. Okay, so there are certain negative numbers, negative temperature is there, negative marking is there. So what are integers exactly? The whole numbers, that is all the positive numbers and all the negative numbers. Okay, before 0 also there is a series of negative numbers. As I said, for the natural numbers or whole numbers, the limit is infinity. Same is the case which is applicable to the negative numbers. Even negative numbers can be stretched up to negative infinity. So how can I define integers? All the negative numbers as well as the positive numbers along with 0 is termed as integers. Now all the whole numbers are positive numbers along with the 0. So all the whole numbers are also the part of integers. Then simply I can write here, in integers you have positive numbers, negative numbers as well as the 0. Then let's talk about our part of interest, that is the rational number. Now children, what is rational number? Already we have seen what are natural numbers, whole numbers and integers. Now let's define this rational number. A very simple definition: any number which can be written in the form of a fraction, that is p upon q, which has a numerator and which has a denominator, can be termed as a rational number. Any fraction which is having a numerator and denominator, that you can term it as a rational number. Just one condition you have to check, that the denominator should never be equal to 0. Apart from that, all other cases are acceptable. Just the thing, what care has to be taken, the denominator should never be equal to 0. So simply I can say 1 upon 2 is a rational number. Only 9, even if I write, that is also a rational number. Then you may get a question, ma'am, how come 9 can be a rational number? You said it should be in the form of a fraction, but 9 is just a single digit. It is just a numerator. Where is its denominator? But children, like see, if nothing is there, it will be having a denominator as 1. So any a whole number or any natural number or any integer is a rational number. Always remember, all the number series which we saw before rational numbers, like all the natural numbers, whole numbers and integers, all of this category falls into the rational number. Just one exception is what? Never the denominator should be equal to 0. So this is our number system. I hope everyone has got it clear. Then after seeing the what are rational numbers, let's move towards its properties. Now, first ever property of the rational number which we are going to see is its closure property. Okay, let's see what exactly this property tells us. Now, for rational numbers, we are going to check for 4 different categories. Like everyone knows, there are 4 basic operations which we do on the numerals, that is plus, addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. So these are the basic operations which we carry out on the various numbers. Now let's talk about the addition. Now, rational numbers means there should be a fraction, correct? So here I will be taking a fraction 1 upon 2 plus I will be taking something like 3 upon 2. Any fraction you can take it randomly. Now denominators are same, so I can take a common denominator. Then just add the numerators. What I am getting? 4 by 2. I will be landing up with a simple 2. As I said, if there is nothing in the denominator, means 1 will be there. Okay, we got a fraction. That means what? When you are adding two rational numbers, the addition is also coming as a rational number. So that is nothing but a closure property. Again I repeat, when you add two rational numbers and the addition also what you are getting, if that is also a rational number, then you can say that the rational numbers are closed under addition. Then let's talk about the subtraction. Now let's subtract it. Okay, 1 by 2 minus, I will take it as 3 by 2. Same numbers we are taking, but what we are going to do here is subtraction. Okay, now again the denominators are same, so I will take it common, 1 minus 3, and numerators we will subtract. So 1 minus 3 is minus 2. Minus 2 upon minus 2, it will be minus 1. Minus 1, again denominator is not there, means 1 you will be having. So you got a fraction. So that is nothing but a rational number. So easily we can comment rational numbers are closed under subtraction. Then let's talk about the multiplication. Again I will be taking the same fractions, 1 upon 2 into 3 upon 2. Simply multiply, 1 3s are 3 and 2 2s is 4. Again we got a fraction. So what we can say, when we are multiplying two rational numbers, the ultimate product which we are getting, that is also a rational number. So rational numbers are closed under multiplication. Now let's talk about division. Okay, so here there is a special case. So like here, whenever you are dividing two rational numbers, the product may or may not be a rational number. So it is directly commented as rational numbers are not closed under division. Now let's talk about how. If I divide 1 by 2 with 3 by 2, what is going to happen? 1 upon 2 into, when we are multiplying, it will get reciprocated. Like 2 upon 3, it will get converted. 2 is went off, you got 1 upon 3. So, okay, 1 upon 3 is a fraction. You said, ma'am, here after dividing two rational numbers, we got a rational number. So, you may comment that it is a closure property, or the rational numbers are showing a closure property. But children, what in the case like, suppose if instead of dividing this thing, if we are doing like dividing with 0, okay, so simply we will take it as 1 by 2 divided by 0. Okay, so what happened here? You converted the denominator to be 0, and as per our definition, what is the thing? For any rational number, never the denominator should turn out to be 0. If the denominator is 0, then you can never say that it is a rational number. So it is said that rational numbers are not closed under division. So this was regarding the closure property. Now let's move towards the next property, that is the commutative property. Now let's see this with the help of examples. Now what exactly this commutative property is, children? Like, see, suppose I am explaining about addition. So if a plus b is equals to b plus a, then you can say that rational numbers show the commutative property for addition. And then again, what next? Like suppose for subtraction, if I am talking a minus b, if it is equals to b minus a, then you can say that it is following the rational numbers are following the subtraction, or it is, you can say, subtraction is not commutative or commutative. So that is the thing. Let's see this. Here what we want to show, a plus b is equals to b plus a. So let's take an example. I am taking an example of 1 by 2 plus, I will take it as 2 by 2, okay, or whatever it is. So denominators are common, we can simply take it common, and 1 plus 2, it will become 3 by 2. Now that only what we will do, that was a plus b. Now we will interchange 2 by 2 plus 1 by 2. If I did, so what I am going to get again, 1 plus 2 upon 2, that is 3 upon 2. So after interchanging the position of the numbers also, we got the same answers. So we can say that addition is commutative for rational numbers. Then let's talk about subtraction. If you are getting a minus b is equals to b minus a, so then you can say that rational numbers follow the commutative property for subtraction. Now let's check this out. What we will be doing is, like, I am taking two fractions, okay, like 3 upon 2 minus 1 upon 2. Okay, now see children, what is happening? 3 upon 2 minus 1 upon 2, it will be like common denominator, and 3 minus 1, so it will become 2 by 2, 1. Now that only if I interchange, okay, b minus a, if I am doing half minus 3 by 2, see, common denominator 2, 1 minus 3, so it will become minus 2 upon 2 is equals to minus 1. See, a minus b is this thing, and b minus a is minus 1. So these two are not same. So what we can say, that rational numbers does not follow the commutative property for subtraction. Okay, then let's talk about multiplication. Same example I will take. Here what you need to prove, a into b is same as b into a. So I will take it as half into 3 by 2. So what will happen? 1 into 3 is 3, and 2 2s is 4. And now let's interchange. This is a into b. Now let's do b into a. So what it will be? 3 upon 2 into 1 upon 2. So 3 1s are 3 and 2 2s is 4. If you compare both the values, yes, this is justified or satisfied. So what we can say? Multiplication is commutative for rational numbers. Then let's talk about division. Now children, again what you want to prove over here? Like see, A divided by B is going to be same as B divided by A. So let's do this also. I am taking an example of half divided by 3 by 2. Children, you can take any example. You are free to take the random numbers and try it. Now see, this will become half into 2 upon 3. Okay, 2 is gone. Again, you are getting 1 upon 3. So again here you may say, ma'am, here we are getting a fraction. That means what? It should be commutative. Now next example, you see here you got 1 by 2, and then if I reverse it, so what I'm going to get, if we are doing 3 by 2 divided by 1 by 2, so what is going to happen? 3 by 2 into 2 by 1. If you reduce this, you're going to get the answer as 3. Here the answer is 1 by 3 and here the answer is 3. So these two are not same. That is what I can say, A divided by B is not same as B divided by A. That's why we can say that division is not commutative for the rational numbers, nor even the closure property was applicable for division of rational numbers, nor even the commutative property is applicable for division of rational numbers. Now let's move towards the third property. Third property is the associative property. Here we are going to deal with the arrangement of brackets. Now particularly if I want to talk about addition, what it is, see children, A plus in bracket B plus C, that should be equal to A plus B whole bracket plus C. Okay, if this is satisfied, then you can say that addition is associative for rational numbers. Now let's take an example. We will be taking A as half and B we will be taking as 3 by 2 and C I will be taking as 5 by 2. Again I repeat, random examples you can take, you can choose anything, any fraction you can choose. Now let's take about this first one, half plus in bracket 3 by 2 plus 5 by 2. How I can solve this? Half plus denominator is same, so this will become 2 and 3 plus 5 is 8. So again we can add it, denominators are same, so I will take it as 2 and 1 plus 8 is going to be 9. So what did we get? This part we got it as 9 by 2. Then let's change the placement of the brackets, and what I will be doing? Okay, here we will change the placement of the brackets simply, and then we will carry out the further operations. So okay, so here we will turn out the bracket to be A plus B. Okay, then what will happen? Brackets are same, so denominator is same, so common 2, 1 plus 3 is 4 plus 5 by 2. If you add this, denominators are same, so 2, 4 plus 5 is 9, 9 upon 2. So if you compare both sides, you even though you have changed the value of brackets or you have changed the place of the bracket, what has happened? You have got the addition same. So simply you can say that addition is associative for rational numbers. Now at least one property we got it clear. Then let's move towards the another one. Now subtraction is what? Like A minus B minus C will be equal to A minus B minus C. Now let's start solving this. Firstly, we will write the associative property, what we need to justify, and then we will go for writing. A minus B minus C should be equal to A minus B bracket minus C. So let's start doing this. So what is going to happen? Firstly, half is outside, half minus, what is B? It is 3 by 2 minus 5 by 2. So what will happen? Half minus. Now see, 3 upon 2 minus 5 upon 2. Denominator is same, so take it common. 3 minus 5, it will be minus 2. What it will turn out? Minus into minus will turn out to be plus 3 upon 2. So 1 plus 3 is 4 upon 2, or simply you can take it as 2. Now here this value you got it as 2. Now let's solve the another bracket and check what are we getting the value after changing the place of the bracket. Okay, then let's start, children. Simply what we are going to do here, we need to erase the bracket and we need to change its place. So let's do it. Bracket, now it is coming for the first two terms. Let's solve the bracket first. Common denominator 1 minus 3 is going to be minus 2, and this remaining minus 5 by 2 as it is. Denominator is common, so take it as 2. Then here above we will be having minus 2 minus 5. This will turn out to be minus 7 upon 2. Now children, here on the left hand side we got it as 2, and on the right hand side we got it as minus 7 by 2. So simply we can say that subtraction is not associative for rational numbers. Then let's move towards multiplication. Now here, what do we need to clarify or justify? Let's see that first. See children, A into bracket B into C should be equals to A into bracket B into C. Again, let's do the same thing. Half into bracket, it is 3 by 2 into 5 by 2. So it is going to be half into 3 5s are 15 upon 2 2s is 4. So this will be 15 upon 6. So on LHS we got the value as 15 upon 6. Now let's change the placement of the bracket and try to interpret the value. Let's see whether if it comes same or different. Now first two terms will be inserted into the bracket. Let's multiply. 1 3 is 3, 2 2 is 4 into 5 by 2. Okay. So what did we get? Yeah, we got 3 5s is 15 and 4 2s is 8. Yes children, here 4 2s it is 8. I added it. So this is again 15 by 8. So that means what? LHS and RHS is same. You are getting the same values after changing the bracket. So simply we can say that multiplication is associative for rational numbers. Then let's talk about division. Same thing. Operation is different, but the placement of we are going to deal with the placement of the bracket. Now let's see this children. A divided by in bracket B divided by C should be equal to A divided by B whole bracket divided by C. Now let's solve for the LHS first. So this is what? Half divided by 3 by 2 divided by 5 by 2. So this is going to be half divided by 3 by 2 into 2 by 5. Whenever we are dividing two fractions, division we have to convert into multiplication and you have to take the reciprocal of the second term. Then this will become half divided by 2 is gone. You will be having 3 by 5. And if you solve it further, half into this will become 5 upon 3. So this is 5 upon 6. So LHS value we have got 5 upon 6. Now let's try to solve for the RHS side. Again, as we know, what we have to do is simply we need to go for changing the placement of the brackets, and then finally we need to verify whether the answers what we have got that are exactly same or no. Now let's see this. We need to clean the brackets. So here bracket will be inserted to the first two things. So this will be half into 2 by 3 divided by 5 by 2. Now see, 2 is gone. Here you will be having 1 by 3 divided by 5 by 2. So what it will turn out to be as 1 by 3. Okay, here there is a mistake. It is 1 by 3 divided by 5 by 2. So this will become 1 by 3 into 2 by 5. Okay, so this will become 1 2 is 2 upon 3 5 is 15. So if I write it over here, this will become 2 by 15. And if you compare the LHS side and RHS side, both are not same. So what you can say that the rational numbers are not associative for the property or the operation of division. Then after that, after seeing the properties of rational number, now let's see some special category or the special numbers. Let's see the role of 0. Now, where here a is any whole number. Okay, now children see, a plus 0 is going to be same as 0 plus a, and which is equal to a. Here who is a? A is a whole number. Now let's take an example. We will take any number. Okay, so I will be taking a whole number as 2. 2 plus 0 is what? 2 plus 0 is 2. Then let's take 0 plus a. Here I am taking a as 2. Now, which is a whole number. Now, 0 plus a means what? 0 plus 2 is going to be again 2. And that's what we wanted, or that's what we have to prove. So, what is 0? If you are adding 0 to any number, the sum is going to be the number itself. Okay. So, then let's see this with B, another one. Let's add a 0 to an integer. Now what are integers? All the negative numbers and positive numbers along with 0. Now let's here I am considering B as minus 2. So let's check. Minus 2 plus 0 is going to be minus 2. And 0 plus B means 0 plus minus 2. It is going to be minus 2, which is same as B. So see, for whole numbers we verified it. For integers also we verified it. Whenever we are adding a 0 to any whole number or integer, we are getting the number itself. Now let's do it with a rational number. Now here C, I am taking it as 1 by 2. Now let's add half with 0. You are getting it as half. Now let's add a 0 with half. You are going to get a half. Okay, 1 by 2. So that means what? Whenever you are adding a 0 to any whole number or integer or rational number, you are going to get a number itself. Okay, so that is the special property of 0. Now children, did you know 0 is called the identity for the addition of rational numbers? And not only rational numbers, it is also called as the additive identity for all the integers and whole numbers as well. Now, what is this additive identity or identity for the addition? Whenever you are adding 0 to any number, the answer is going to be the number itself. Suppose I am adding 0 to 1000. The answer is going to be 1000 itself. So that means what? Whenever you add 0 to any number, the answer is going to be the number itself. So that is why 0 is called as the additive identity. Now after seeing the special power of 0, let's see the role of 1. What is the role of 1 in mathematics? When you multiply any rational number with 1, you get back the same rational number as the product. Like see, a into 1 will be equals to 1 into a. That is again number itself. And that is why 1 is called the multiplicative identity for the rational numbers. Now let's check this. Half into 1 is going to be half. You take it like see, you got the number itself. If I consider the number as a, into 1 I got a itself. Okay, so whenever you are multiplying 1 with any number, it may be rational number, whole number or integer, you are going to get the number itself. Then Let's talk about a negative of a number. The negative of a number, or it is also called as a additive inverse. Now what is this additive inverse, children? Suppose I have a number 5 and I said you to write the additive inverse of this number 5. So simply what you have to do, you have to reverse its sign. It is a positive 5. So its additive identity is going to be minus 5. Suppose here I have certain number minus 3 and I said you write the additive identity or additive inverse of minus 3. What is additive inverse of minus 3? Simply minus sign is there, make it plus and write the number as it is. Suppose I am having minus 7. So minus sign is there, make it plus, write down here 7. Suppose I am having something as minus, I am having minus 11. Sorry, plus 11 we will take it. So plus is there, make it minus 11. Okay, value of the number is going to stay the same. This sign you are going to take it opposite. So that is nothing but a negative of a number or a additive inverse. Now what is the next property? Whenever you are adding a number and its additive inverse, answer you are going to get it as 0. Now let's take the first example. I have a number 5 and its additive inverse is going to be minus 5. Okay, so when you add these two numbers, so what will happen? See, 5 plus into minus minus 5. 5 minus 5 will be 0. So that means what? Whenever you are adding a number and its additive inverse, the addition or the sum is going to be 0. Then let's see the next property. Let's talk about the reciprocal. The reciprocal is also called as a multiplicative inverse. This is a very interesting thing and very easy one. Like suppose I am having a fraction or a rational number as 2 by 5 and I want its reciprocal or multiplicative inverse. Simply what you have to do, child, you have to invert it. Numerator will become denominator and denominator will become the numerator. So reciprocal of 2 upon 5 is 5 upon 2. Suppose I have a number 9. 9 is also a rational number. So as I always say, if nothing is there, the denominator is supposed to be 1. So what is reciprocal of 9? The reciprocal of 9 is 1 by 9. Okay. So these are the things, like suppose I have a number minus 100. So reciprocal of minus 100 will be minus 1 upon 100. So just whenever you are taking a reciprocal, the numerator is going to become the denominator and the denominator is going to become the numerator. So that is nothing but the reciprocal or multiplicative inverse. Now let's see the distributivity of the multiplication over addition and subtraction. Now children, whenever what is distributivity, or that is how you are going to distribute the multiplication sign or the multiplication over addition and subtraction. Now here again we will assume certain values. We will take a as half, b as 3 by 2 and c as we will take it as 5 by 2. Now let's check. What is the first property? Here you are going to see the multiplication over addition. Let's write it. A multiplied by whole bracket b plus c. It is ab plus ac. Okay, so this is the thing. What you are going to do? First you will multiply a with the first term in the bracket, then addition sign, and then a you will be multiplying with the second term into the bracket. That is nothing but distribution of you can say multiplication over the bracket addition. Then when you are having a, then b minus c. So firstly you will multiply a with the first term in the bracket ab. Here minus sign is there, so minus. Then you will multiply a with the third term in the bracket. So second term in the bracket. So it will become AC. So this is nothing but how you are going to show the distributivity of the multiplication over addition and subtraction. Now, for today's session, this was all, children. We have seen the introduction as to the number system, as well as we have seen what are the various properties which the rational numbers go through. In the next session, we will be looking out for exercise 1.1, which is totally based on the properties which we saw today, as well as the properties of rational numbers, as well as the identities of 0 and the 1, the multiplicative inverse, and the additive identity. This all things which we saw in today's session, we are going to incorporate it for solving the exercise 1.1. I hope everyone is clear with the concepts, whatever you have learned. And if there is any query, any suggestion, or any complaint, you can drop it into the comment section. If you feel like today's session was useful to you, you should totally feel free to share it with your friends. Thank you for being throughout the session.